Hi, how you guys doing? You're great. You're good. Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. Anyway, sorry. See, I had to show a lot more energy today. Cause like I didn't record yesterday, so Sunday's video was very latex, very chilled, very. I should have had the same energy that I have today for it, but Sunday, truth be told, about Sunday's recording is that it was actually I didn't know how to express it, so I've been also doing a lot of pondering on how to get my videos engaging with y'all. So that's what I'm addressing before I really start the segment. So I'm just addressing that. I'm gonna try experiment with a few more edits into the video, and I'm gonna experiment with a few ways I interact with y'all, just to see how does my videos turn out to be. Remember, at the end of the day, I'm not just doing this myself. I'm doing it for y'all too. Point of this channel is just to generally entertain you, but yet at the same time get just information, like just give you something that you can hold value to, not some bullshit that I'm just speaking and ranting and blah 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 blah. You get me? Like blah blah blah. You get me? So yeah, that's the thing, and I feel a lot more comfortable. So that's why I'm trying to do these new experiments with the way I talk with you. Maybe show a little more of myself to you. You get me? Like, yeah. But anyway, let me get out your faces. My bad. So today's video is a more, I wouldn't say highly anticipated, but a more video that I've been pushing aside. Yes, uncle. Yeah, my bad. Okay. Anyway, back to it. So, yeah, like I said earlier, so I was pushing it to the side, so I really couldn't. Because the thing is, when I wanted to do this, I wanted to do it straightforward. But then I realized that's not me, That's not what I am, what I do here. I just So anyway, I'm gonna offer you recommendations that for you to decide whether you enjoy it. Because the thing is, when it comes to quote unquote giving somebody a recommendation to something to watch, when it comes to something in that matter, right? It's, how can I say? It's very difficult because, especially like when it comes to anime, when you recommend something to people, especially now, like a more adult audience, right? When it comes to giving them that type of information, Loki gets like tiresome. And when you recommend people like from shows that you really enjoyed, hold on, my bad. When you give them shows like Loki, that when they come to what you come to enjoy, right? For me personally, I can never recommend anybody like now, like at my age, right? I cannot recommend anybody like my peers any shonen. You get me? I can maybe recommend like Dragon Ball, but like it won't appeal to everybody. So when you recommend something, you have to really move. So with these recommendations, I'm just gonna recommend you shows that I wouldn't say appeals to a large or like a grown audience. It more appeals to somebody who's just wanting entertainment. You get me? Not whole views, not something, just general something that you can drown yourself in. And while I'm gonna do the first one, I'm gonna actually sit down because I can't record because this cable is very difficult. Anyway, besides that, like I said, first one I'm recommending to you all, because lately let's do a little story time. Not really, just a quick monologue, quick addressing. I, for one, am a big fanatic of this anime thing. Deadass, I'm a fiend for it. But as of late, I have not watched anything. Cause lately the quality I hope for it to be is not on par standard. I'm not thinking of like Demon Slayer type quality or like JJK. I'm thinking more of, a very smooth, flowy pattern, get like a summary, get people like curious about it before they get deeply interested into it type shit. Because it lately anime just like eat that and enjoy it without giving you, like, they just throw you a plate of food and the plate of food is not looking digestible. You get me? But anyway, but like on this thing, I'm just gonna tell you stories I have seen, which are not generally Japanese, like I said earlier, previously in previous videos. But like previously in previous videos, I haven't spoken much about Japanese animation because they don't hit the same like they used to. But I will recommend whatever. But anyway, enough of my rant. Let's get straight to the point. First on the list will be Jade Dynasty. Let me walk through you with Jade Dynasty. Hold on, what's the fucking thing? See what I did there? But anyway, let me walk through to Jade Dynasty. So, in the Jade's Dynasty is about a character named Zhao Fan. I'm just gonna call him Zhao Fan. So it follows the story about Zhao Fan. So Zhao Fan comes from, how can I say it? I don't know how to put it in telling, but he was just an ordinary boy. Had a friend and so forth, right? Him and his friend used to just duel it out in the beginning, childhood stuff like that. But then one evening, like on a stormy thing, his village that he was staying in got slaughtered, right? And the only thing that saved him was because he was unconscious at the temple. So his entire village got slaughtered, or genocide, basically. They were genocide, and him and his friend survived. While his friend did survive, because where was his friend? His friend was under rubble in the village, but he survived somehow. Anyway, so in the beginning, you see there's a tragedy, but like he meets this old man. Old man teaches him a little bit of kung fu. Oh, this is set in like a very cultivation, martial arts realm, but it's like more of a spiritual way. Got your Buddhist practices and like your evil practices. So it's just divided by black and white. Evil's evil, good is good. But here's the nutter. So as he learns, he's not very talented in this field, mind you. He's not talented in the manner of like the way they expect him to be talented. Like when somebody tells you like when you, how can I put it? Like when somebody's good at math, right? Like somebody's very talented in the field of like numbers, right? But you're not good at it. But you are talented in the field of like language or understanding. You get what I mean? Like you basically break it down. You're very talented in that field. Not like language, but like in math as well. But your talent doesn't rely mainly like quick problem solving. Yours is more like a breakdown. You ask the questions like, why is that? How is that? You get me? So in the beginning, Zhao Fan is not like really a talented person. He's also considered dimwit. So in the beginning, in the story, I'm gonna tell you how I felt. I felt very frustrated because I didn't understand why was the character behaving like this. But then you always look back at it, but you kind of like, how can I say, you kind of don't really build a connection with the character, but you build a sort of like indifferent, because he like frustrates you. Like he frustrates you and you always ask yourself, why is he not like developing? Why is he always on a Stanford? And in the beginning, it does sound very like, because in the beginning, him and his friend is very talented, so he gets to participate in like a certain group in a set. After his study got started, him and his friend were sent to a martial arts academy where they teach people to harness their skills and breakthroughs and whatever, right? So he was taught, and he went to that mountain, yada yada. They find out that his friend is like very talented in the field, so they take him to like the prestigious one, and his friend is not talented, so they send him to like a lesser school, or like it's one school, just different factions. You get me? So he sends him to that one, but as he gets to the faction, his master, technically the person who's supposed to be like a caretaker, doesn't really care for the character. But yes, let me get to the point now. Yada yada. So it follows a simple rule, because I'm not gonna spoil it for you. It's for you to watch it. This is just my recommendation and how I'll break down. So if you're feeling like, oh, what the fuck is talking about, this is how it is. I'm not spoiling nothing for nobody. I'm just giving you a breakdown of it for you to like, oh, okay, that seems interesting. But anyway, push that aside. My bad. So we like so we follow him and his path of like practice martial arts, quote unquote. Remember I say like when people are two different talents, he's a more of a talent of like a slow, but he gets it. It's just that he didn't like what's necessary. He taught like the basis, because the quote unquote person who's supposed to teach him or care, guide him, wasn't necessarily teaching him. So people with else in the organization taught them, but those organizations, you remember, everybody learns in a different way. So when I explain to you something, right, that's my understanding, but it's not the same for you. You get me? So he was very breakdown and he was kind of considered incompetent. But at the end of the day, you should kind of realize the methods of teaching were awful, straight up. So anyway, follow his story, right? But then like there's a certain point in the story where he goes on a mission with other sets, or not with other disciples in the academy. And then he slowly uncovers the truth of how his village was slaughtered, what caused it, etc. Right? But then remember I said like it was black and white. Yeah, it's not like that, because like the good guys are not good and the bad guys are not pretty bad, because that's where the twister comes in. He tends to like see these parts, because the cultivation technique he's learning, right, follows two parts, but it makes it unison. You get me? So that's when he uncovers the truth of his village being slaughtered, and he slowly kind of realizes that the cultivation world and the laws that they set is incorrect. So that's number one. I really talked on that, but you get me. So yeah, J Dynasty, you can check that out. I'm gonna put like a few images. Maybe I'm gonna hopefully when I edit, I don't see like I don't get copyrighted, because it's so difficult. So if I do find like an image, you can see a cool little slide going on. But anyway, now next one being number 2. I was gonna either it's, okay. Let me just say Perfect World. So now Perfect World is more of a shonen type. Remember, these are all Chinese. So this in this though, how you wait? Hold on, let me find the names. Let me see, because I can't pronounce it. I'm not gonna punch it. There we go.
1 hour later.
Oh yeah, Shi Hao. We'll call him Xing. So Shi in the story, is a typical shonen story, but in the story, basically, he was born a heavenly genius. But in the story, it doesn't really show. It shows him as a kid, and he's very well versatile in kung fu and so forth. You see him grow. He's an idiot, basically, but he's like an idiot, but yet also like, man knows what he's doing. He's like a crooked idiot. Let me put it like that. But as in his idiocy, you kind of see. But anyway, he was born with a bone structure known as a supreme bone, right? That gets stolen from him. Typical shonen stuff like that. Then his supreme bone gets stolen, and it was given to his cousin or what, right? Because his cousin is also some heavenly genius. But anyway, in the story, it follows him and trying to uncover the truth on where his parents are. You know, his parents disappeared, leaving him behind, and he wants to know more of the truth, finding out why was his bone taken away, and etc. Right? But in the story, what makes it like what I enjoy about it in the beginning, it was like following the character and making it seem like he's not reliant on the supreme bone. Yes, he wants it back because it was his and it was stolen. But at the end of the day, he kind of proves like that supreme bone means absolute nothing when it comes to like dedication and hard work. You get what I mean? Like, yes, he's talented, quote unquote. He's already a genius as is, but he proves that like that bone doesn't define who he truly is. He's supreme with or without the bone. So that's what Perfect World is. That's a short description, because if I talk more of it, I technically spoil the entire story. So yeah. So in Perfect World, it's like that. And the next one will be, I'm not gonna talk on this, but I'm gonna say next story gonna be is Regard of the Immortal. You know, I talk about this all the time. You know, it's my most favorite. because I like for people to watch it. And I feel like this story specifically, if neither Jade Dynasty, okay, I feel like Jade Dynasty, a lot of people like it because in the story, you kind of see. Oh, yeah, before that, I'll say it end of the video. I was saying like, I speak about it. James, if Perfect World doesn't get you, that's cool. But I know for sure, I know for I know for a fact that Immortal would at least get you intrigued. So, regard of the Immortal follows a man named Wan Ling. So Wan Ling is an ordinary poor guy. He seems like he lives an ordinary life with his family and yada yada. So they live a humble life. They're poor, but they live a humble life. But in this, in like following the Wan Ling's journey, right? He's basically forced to be in cultivation because like the main branch of the family bullies him and his family. Because like you got like, you know how, let me put it, you know how lineages go. You always have that direct bloodline and then you got the leisure bloodline. So like the branch family bloodline. So basically it's like the sister marries off to another family, and that's that bloodline, and then you got the ones that like keep their blood. You get it. That's how it is. That's not important. What's important is Wan Ling. So anyway, Wan Ling is like basically forced to become a cultivator just so his family doesn't get bullied. So we follow Wan Ling, and then in the story, what makes Ricardo of the Immortal for me like one of the best things I've seen so far is that he's weak, but he grows. He's generally like he's weak, like he's like a normal man. He's like you and I. He's weak, but the only difference is that he's like, yeah, he knows what it is, but he's generally weak. And the fun part is like the parts, the like his journey throughout it, like really that's what defines him, because later on in the story he becomes more ruthless, right? And as he becomes more ruthless, but the thing is, it doesn't really define who he truly is. The ruthlessness is only because of what the world made him become, because of betrayal, unfairity within status quotes and stuff like that. And you kind of see him grow, but not like, when I mean status quotes, I mean you follow his journey through and through, but you kind of see all this play out. Like I said earlier, like he starts off weak and he slowly grows in different ways. The point is, in the beginning he tries to survive. He basically wants to survive and see like how far he can take his martial arts, but like besides us seeing him growing stronger, but like stronger in many forms. He grows stronger in many forms. He grows stronger physically, he grows stronger spiritually, and he grows stronger mentally, because the physical aspect is like the fights and stuff like that he goes through. Spiritual aspects is his growth as a person, and the mental aspects is like you can't show weakness in a sense like that. That's what makes Wan Ling cool, because like a lot of things shapes us because of the way the world is, and that's how it is, and it just depends on who you are if you can really take it or not. So you only have two sides of the coin. Are you him or not? That's it. So that's also, this is the last one. It's known as Green Legend Ran, right? It's a very old one, 25 years old. The reason I'm putting this one out there is this old anime is like, I don't know how to put it, like how do I describe it so you can go check it out. But Green Legend Ram is a story about how the world dies, basically. Some alien species known as Rodo lands on Earth and steals the life of the Earth, right? And then tends to make humanity suffer and only picks out, chosen ones, status quo, like, what was it, the Darwin's Law? Chosen, I forgot it's the law thing. I'll post it here. But anyway, it shows that. But then, like, when you look at the story, it shows like besides quote unquote like the world dying, but I mean, like, when it comes to the characters and all these events happening in the story, it really shows like a good depiction of our real world, really. And like, I'm not gonna say much on it, but just say like Green Legend Ram is a story about like people killing the world, and like people who are fighting for the world are in the wrong. And you get like, it's like there's a cult that segregates everybody to follow this law, which we all know is unfair, but because of the immense power and like hold it has on everybody, like nobody's has like the courage to stand up. And especially with our world right now, is that there's a lot of people who don't have the courage to stand up from the oppression, because like these people in power are making it so difficult, because we lack the power to do a change. So Green Legend Rev really highlights it, but I'm not sure, maybe that's my understanding, you might have another understanding if you go watch it. So on the note, W for making this fast little video, whether it was late in the video, whether it was now in the video, earlier in the video, generally thank you all for the support you have shown. And yeah, if you like the video, like it, or comment me any thoughts on what you thought of the video. And yeah, and
Don't worry, I'll protect you.
Fucks with me, subscribe, peace.
When we're together, don't think of forever, just hold me. I know what's in your heart, I've known it right from the start. Think of a place where warm rivers flow. Walk through the fields where sunflowers and daffodils